Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today on us 2nd of September. Now is 5:30 in the afternoon. I am Levan Gudadze and you are on my channel in which I share with the viewers of this channel, news, uh, stories that are making headlines in Russian media outlets for this moment. Before I start, let me say a few words about future of this channel. So, point is that today is the last day of my summer holidays. Uh, I had 2 weeks of paid leave. So today is the last day, and tomorrow I'm going back to my everyday job. So because of that, I did from my work. They send me my graphic of work for this month, and if nothing is changed there, entire months I will work from early morning uh, to afternoon. So that means that videos uh, I will probably make approximately same time that this video will be uploaded. And I will definitely try to make videos every day, or at least like 4 or 5 days a week. But if I can't, if I was too tired and I could not make it, then please be patient and stay on my channel. Yeah, that's it on this topic. And second topic that I was thinking to talk about is that I want to thank you all for your attention on my yesterday's video. Last time I checked, it was some 1700 views, around 100 likes, many dozens of commentaries, and that's for my little channel. That's quite a big deal, and for me, of course. So thank you very much for your attention and your support. What can I say, man? Thank you. I appreciated your support. Now, and one more thing. As you notice, today in Podmoskovia region, where I live, weather is quite chill, and I'm on my balcony, so I did not disturb my family members. So I'm on my balcony, and yeah, it may be some sound effects because of cars are moving down over the street. So sorry about that. As you can see, I mean, I don't have some studio or anything like that. So one day may I do video here, second day in my kitchen, next day in one of the rooms that will be free for that time. So it is what it is, man. Now let me start main with the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets. So I will do it like this way. Just a sec, please. Just a sec. As you can see, I'm not good enough with this stuff. Mobile studio and the rest of it, but I'm learning. So yeah, let's uh, let's start talking about some news, man, and I will have some cigarettes if you don't mind. So today's main news in Russian media outlets still are Ukraine, and here this is TASS news agency site. We have some new updates about so-called Kherson offensive of forces that are still loyal to Zelensky's regime. So let me give you latest information from Russian Defense Ministry. Some may say that Russian Defense Ministry is not objective source of information, but we just don't have any other source of information. So and yet again, practice is showing us that uh, you know almost all information that Russian Defense Ministry is giving to us, um, almost all of it is proved in some time. So even more, sometimes the Defense Ministry is deleting information. You can see on Telegram channels that some villages or towns were taken by DPR forces or Russian forces, and Russian Defense Ministry is quiet about it, and only after a few days they are sharing this information. So, one may argue that this is not a good enough source of information, but that's what I have. And on this channel, I'm sharing with you news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets, man, not in US media outlets. So, yeah, let me give you some numbers now about clashes for last 24 hours. And Russian Defense Ministry is saying that for in the last 24 hours, Zelensky's regime has lost 13 tanks, 19 personal armored vehicles, armored personal carriers, 12 some different type of armored vehicles, 11 pickup trucks with heavy machine guns, and 330 soldiers. Here, word that is used is уничтоженные. In this context, that means that they were destroyed or killed in action. So that's news from Russian Defense Ministry uh, about last 24 hours. Now we can have some little analytical discussion about this stuff, and I don't know you will agree with me or not, but I will share with you my opinion about what is happening. So, if you notice, in yesterday's briefing of Russian Defense Ministry, they said that Zelensky's regime had lost around 400 soldiers. In today's briefing, they said that Zelensky's regime had lost some 330 soldiers. And if you read the numbers of armored vehicles, this number is dropping down to when day before yesterday, for example, Defense Ministry of Russian Federation gave us data that said that Zelensky's regime had lost some 1,700 soldiers, around 100 tanks, more than 100 personal armored personal carriers, and some other military equipment. So, in my understanding, we are, we can say now with certain, I mean, we can say now that this so-called Kherson offensive did meet its end, man, and it's not just slowing down; it just stopped. It just stopped. So uh, one may say this long-anticipated Kherson offensive has ended in great disaster for Zelensky's regime, and this is true, man. You may don't believe to Russian Defense Ministry, but you can check some Ukrainian um Telegram channels. You can check some independent Telegram channels or Telegram channels that are pro-Ukrainian, openly pro-Ukrainian, and you will read information about thousands and thousands of injured soldiers in Nikolaev and Kryvyi Rog Oblast, and hospitals are full with wounded soldiers, and morgues are full with killed soldiers, and it's just for horrifying stories, man. So it's of course sad, man. It's just sad that despite uh, that fact that almost everyone in in world of expertise, military expertise that I know, almost everyone was saying that this is suicidal. If Zelensky's regime will start counteroffensive on Kherson region, it will be suicidal, man, for them. And even we even have some information that head of Ukrainian army, Zaluzhny, he was personally against this counteroffensive operation. But it looks like Zelensky and his masters in Washington and London had made decision, and they pushed that this decision. And now we have this sad picture when thousands of soldiers are dead, thousands are wounded. I mean, we're talking about life, and I don't care about some tanks and personal carriers, but you know, it's not just numbers. When you read in news about casualties of one side or another, that's real life, man. That's real people are killed in action or get wounded. So it's just sad, man. I don't understand why nobody in Western world are pushing for some diplomatic solutions, man. Where are all those anti-war uh, ideologues, man, that were so loud uh, year ago or 2 years ago, man? Almost all of them are quiet now. Why is that? As long as this conflict continues, I mean, eventually everyone knows how this conflict will end, right? As long as this conflict continues, more and more territories will Russia take under his control, and that means that there will be more and more casualties. Just why, man? Um, Russian officials said many times, all Zelensky needs to do. I mean, Zelensky can stop this conflict in any day, any time. All he needs to know is to say to his generals, lay down arms, and let's start some peaceful negotiations, man. And that's it, But he's not doing it because his Western masters don't want this conflict to end, at least for now. So it's sad, man. It's sad, definitely. Um, About yesterday's failed attempt from Zelensky's regime to take Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. I mean, in yesterday's video, I did share information that I had. Uh, there are some rumors that in that operation, 6 to 8 SIA officers were British SIA special forces officers were killed, but I have no way to prove this information. So you know, so that's it for this conflict. I mean, in Russian media outlets, of course, main story is always and every day is Ukraine, but there are some new stories too that are making headlines in Russia. So let's talk about some more or less peaceful stuff, man. Even though I mean it's hard to call this further escalation of relationships between Russia and West peaceful, but at least our countries don't fight yet in open war. So main news in Russian media outlets today is that G7 countries did make decision to put some price cap on Russian oil. Uh, probably you know that information about this kind of decision is I mean we hear about it not the first time. I mean for the last few months, many Western officials they talk about it, and it looks like eventually they did reach some agreement to put this price cap on Russian oil. Even though many experts are saying that this is crazy, that it will harm, if imposed, it will harm world economy more than Russian economy. But uh, it looks like for Western leaders, I mean, for Western leaders, main point is to do some damage to Russia, and they don't care for what cost. For their countries or for the world, man. They are some psychopaths, man. I mean, honestly, Western elites are. I mean, if you see, analyze what they are doing, I mean, you will have a expression that they are just psychopaths, that, because there is no logic in the action, There is no logic, at least logic that are oriented on interests of societies of, for example, these G7 countries. So let me read the information. The heads of ministers of finance of G7 countries, if I don't know, do I have to remind you which countries these are? Man, I will read anyway. Great Britain, Germany, Italy, Canada, France, Japan, and USA decided to impose a price limit on oil from Russia. Uh, Sky News correspondent Tamara Cohen was the first to report this on Twitter. Later, corresponding statement appeared on the website of British government. The finance minister also, British finance minister, I guess, also called for an international coalition to maintain a ceiling on Russian fuel prices. Today, we reaffirm our joint political intent to complete and implement a comprehensive ban on services that allow for the sea transportation of crude oil and oil products from Russian origin around the world. The provision of such services will only be allowed if oil and oil products are purchased at the price below the ceiling, determined by coalition of countries to end implementing this price ceiling. The G7 finance ministers said in joint statement. So that's what they said today. British Chancellor of the Exchequer, Nadim Zahawi, explained that the restrictions imply a ban on services such as insurance and provision of financing for ships carrying Russian oil above the agreed ceiling. So that's official information. I did read on one of the outlets that they are thinking to impose this ban, oil cap, price cap, in first days of December. So you know, let's wait and see what will happen. This is main news, other than Ukraine, of course. This story is the main news in Russian media outlets, and let's talk about this story too a little bit. Today, I did read on some media outlets that European officials in Brussels, they were talking about imposing same kind of price tag on Russian natural gas too. So they are going crazy, man, in full speed. I mean, it seems like they don't even are trying to think, or I don't know what's wrong with them, to all those so-called elites in the West. But now let's see how they're gonna implement this price tag, man. Uh, yesterday we had a statement from Russian government, and one of the high-level officials, Novak, his name, vice prime minister, if I remember correctly. So he said that Russia will simply don't sell oil to any country in the world who will impose price tag on Russia, and that's it. And you can say that Russian side will have same take on gas too. If European states will impose some price tag, Moscow will say, you know what? Then we are not selling you anything at all. So what will happen in that scenario? G7 countries today did made one more statement, and they were saying that oil producer countries have to. They did not asking anyone. They are demanding that oil exporter countries, oil producing countries, must you know increase must increase input of oil on world markets, so these European elites will be happy, man. I mean, it's crazy, and I'm waiting for example, what gonna say uh, leaders of Qatar or Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates or Angola, for example, who is which is a quite big uh, um, exporter of oil, one of the biggest in the world. So crazy, man. This will don't work, man. This will definitely don't work. Russia is already selling oil under discount from $25 to $35, if I remember correctly. So no one in the world, particularly big players in Southeast Asia, and you know which countries I'm talking about. That's China, India, Indonesia. These countries will definitely don't lose good relationships with Russia, man. For some faraway, countries that are not realizing yet that they are provinces of the Eurasian, man. Let's say Europe. Europe is more increasingly looks like province of Eurasian continent, man. I mean, the European elites just not realizing it, or maybe they are realizing it, and that's why they are so mad, man. Meanwhile, with their actions, they are ruining lives of citizens of European countries, man, and that's craziest part of it. And I'm thinking, when will European society wake up, and when will they start demand from the elites to act in a sane manner, man, you know? One day European society must wake up, because otherwise, mm, these so-called elites in Europe and in the West as a whole, they will just destroy entire social fabric of Western society, man. I mean, it's crazy though. It's crazy. So I mean, you tell me, what predictions do you have for near future? In my understanding, this no matter how hard the Western is gonna try, at least China will stay in good relationships with Russia. I do believe Angola will stay with Russia. Uh, that's a big oil producer. Probably Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates will stay with Russia. India, I mean, India under heavy pressure, man. India under heavy pressure from the West, and the Indian economy does need Western investments. And here we have, I mean, I'm not sure that India will keep up with this pressure and stay friendly with Russia. I'm not sure about that. It's sad to say, because I mean, India, since I mean Soviet Union era, I mean, even Soviet Union and India were very friendly. Probably 1971 story, when Soviet Union did play a crucial role to save India as a state, as a country. If not Soviet Union, geography of India for now probably will be very much different. Uh, and I do know that in India many people do remember this, and they remember that in very, very dark times, Soviet Union was next to them, and defending them. Now it's seems like time to, you know, give some help to Russia, if I may say that way. And all it takes for India to say to Western states, you know what, you do you, man, but we don't give a damn, about your price caps and some other stuff. We have a long time relationships with Russia, and we're gonna stay with, stay with our friends, and that's it. That's crucial political decision. But I hope India will stay with us, man. Because I mean, someone should. I mean, somehow, world society. Let me say this way, man. Because situation is so bad, and it may get so worse than it is now, that probably we now have to talk about world society to somehow unite and do something to stop this madness of Western elites, man. If no one will stop them, they will start. I mean, probably they will start some, maybe even third world war, maybe, you know, because it seems like they have no brakes, man. They are pushing, 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 and at some point, something very bad may happen, man. You know. Um, One error in a borderline between Russia and NATO states may cause some major devastation for not just Europe or Russia, but for entire world, man. You know. So somehow, I mean, we have to start thinking in a not in some nationalist manner, but we have to think as a human society and say, you know what, right now danger for human civilization is coming from Western elites, so we must do something about it, you know. And probably no one will argue with me that Western elites really making this world, pushing this world to a corner, you know, and they are endangering uh, human civilization. I mean, how someone can argue with this? Because I mean, you can see it, man. You know, they are pushing Russia, they are pushing China, they are pushing. I mean, they're trying to destruct situations in all over the world, man. Like they are some suicidal, some crazy bastards, man, and maybe they are dreaming to really start third world war and destroy entire planet. Man, I don't know what's wrong with them, man. But we should do something, you know, like ordinary peoples. I don't know. It's, I mean, you know, me personally, what can I do, man? I mean, I only have a small channel on YouTube, but it's, you know, if everyone will try what he can, then we may achieve something. I don't know. But someone should definitely stop this out of control European elites and Western elites in general, man. You know. So this is it for today's video, man. I was thinking to make it like short, but it's already 32 minutes. So um, I hope you find interesting this conversation, this video, and if so, please consider to subscribe on my channel. Leave some commentary. Let's have some exchange of opinions. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. Bye for now and take care.